Welcome. I'm going to start a new video lecture series on group theory, and this is the first video. So I will discuss about what is group, examples of group, and finally I will discuss uniqueness of identity and inverse. So what is this identity and inverse you will understand in this video. Before starting what is group, let's spend a couple of minutes on introduction of group theory. Basically, group theory is developed by mathematicians as an abstract algebra. Group theory studies the algebraic structure, which we call groups. Later on, physicists found it very interesting and useful. Mostly in quantum mechanics, you will find huge application of this group theory. And why it's so? Because in nature we observe many patterns, symmetry, and so on. Like in laboratory, in day-to-day life, in molecule, everywhere there are pattern and symmetry exist. For example, you can think about water molecule where you will find that atoms of hydrogen and oxygen are in a pattern. Similarly in the ammonia molecule, similarly in crystals, everywhere you will find a pattern and symmetry. And such a complex system you can study by writing many mathematical equations. But group theory provides an elegant way to simplify the complex study of such symmetric systems. So from a physicist point of view, in one line you can say group theory used to study the symmetry of physical systems. Now, as this is group theory, so you must know what is group because it is all about the theory of a group. So what is group? Group is defined as such. A group is a set with binary operations satisfying following properties. Before looking at this property, I have used two terminology. First one is set. So what is set? Set is collection of distinct objects. And second one is binary operation. So binary operation is any operation which combine two elements to produce another element. It may be addition, it may be multiplication, it may be anything which combine two elements. Like if you add two integers, then you will get third integer. So addition can be act as a binary operation. It combine two elements to produce third element. Similarly, multiplication, matrix multiplication, and many more. Now we will see these properties. Suppose we have a set G. Let's call it G. And in order to be a group, this set must satisfy the following criteria under a binary operation. The first property is closure property. What it says, for any arbitrary element A and B in this group, let's say A and B are any arbitrary element in this group, then A star B, which is the element resulted due to this binary operation. So if you take the binary operation between this element A and B, then the resultant element must be a member of this set. A and B is the member of this set. So A star B must be present in this group G. Then only we can say closure property is satisfied. Second property is associative. You just take any random three element in this group and first what you will do, take the binary operation between A and B, then take the binary operation with C. And this element must be same if you take the binary operation between B and C and then take the operation with A. If this kind of relation is satisfied, then we will say associative property is satisfied. The third condition is existence of identity. What it said that in this group G, you must have an element E such that if you take the binary operation between any random element with this identity element, just like A star E, this must be equals to A. That means that taking the binary operation with this identity operator will not change the element. So A star E will be A. Similarly, E star A will be A. So you need to have this identity element in that set in order to say that set is a group. Fourth and last one is existence of inverse. What it says, for any element A, there exists a unique element B in that group such that A star B will be equals to E, B star A will be equals to E. What it means, if you take any random element A, then you must have a random element B such that if you take the binary operation between A and B, it will give you the identity element. In such scenario, we will call B is a inverse of A or vice versa. Okay. Now all this concept will be clear to you if you see few examples. Examples of groups. So first example here is set of all integer, and this set will be qualified as a group if you take binary operation as addition. Here we will take addition as binary operation. So now under the addition, this set of all integer will qualify as a group. Let's see how. First, closure property. Just take any random two element of this set and add them. Addition of two integer is an integer, and this is the set for all integer. That means the resultant integer must be in this set. Therefore, the closure property is satisfied. Second one is associative. Just take any three random element of this set and just check this law. If you add n plus p and then add m, and this will be equals to if you add m and n first and then p. What you will see that this law is satisfied in this set. Therefore, this law of addition is associative. So second condition is also satisfied. The third condition is existence of identity. Here 0 will act as an identity element. If you add any element with this 0, you will get same element. A plus 0, what will be this? This will be A. Because 0 adding with any integer will give same integer. So 0 plus A is equals to A. So here 0 is an identity element. And the fourth and last one, existence of inverse. If you take element 1, so what is the inverse of 1? Minus 1. Because if you add 1 plus minus 1, it will give you 0. Similarly, the inverse of 2 will be minus 2. Addition of 2 with minus 2 will be 0. Identity element. So for this set, you will find there exists a unique inverse such that if m is that number and n is that inverse, then m plus n will be 0. And what will be this inverse? Inverse will be minus of that integer. Take any integer and their opposite sign integer will be the inverse. So this set satisfies all the property to be a group under addition. Operation is very important. It cannot be a group under any arbitrary operation. It is a group under addition operation. Okay. Now, if you look this group, there are certain more property with this group. First one is it has infinite number of elements. Such group is called infinite group. Any group with infinite number of elements is called infinite group. Other thing is the element in this group are denumerable. So this group is called discrete group. Let's move to second example. If you take a set with this 4 number of elements 1, minus 1, I and minus I, and if you take the binary operation as multiplication, then you will find out this set is a group. We know I square equals to minus 1. You can verify by yourself. I can just point out 1 is the identity element and the inverse of 1 is 1, inverse of minus 1 is minus 1, inverse of I is minus I, and inverse of minus I is I. And rest property you can verify by yourself. What we have seen here, unlike previous case, here the group have finite number of elements. So such group is called finite group. Number of element in the finite group is called order of the group. So what is the order of this group? As this group contains 4 elements, the order of this group is 4. Let's see example 3. Set of all real number under addition. Like example 1, 0 is the identity element for addition, and inverse of any element b will be its negative minus b. What we can see here, that set of all real number, which means this group will be infinite group. Here the elements are non-denumerable, which means this group is called continuous group. Let's move to example 4. Any set which contain these two matrices 1 0 0 1 minus 1 0 0 minus 1. That set will be a group under matrix multiplication. Okay, so you just form a set which just contain two elements, this and this. That set will be a group under matrix multiplication, and this element will act as a identity, and the inverse of this element is this itself. Inverse of this element is this itself. Fifth example is set of all non-singular square matrix of order n under matrix multiplication. Suppose you are taking n equals to 2. All non-singular matrix of order 2. All means as many as present, as many as you can form. So the set of all non-singular square matrices of order n under matrix multiplication can be considered as a group. So now we will move to a property, uniqueness of inverse. What it means? Each element of a group can have exactly one inverse element. That means inverse element of any element will be unique. You cannot have two different inverse elements for a particular element of a group. Let's prove it. So we will start with an assumption that an element A of a group has two inverse elements B and C. Now we can write B as a B star E, because we know E is identity element. If you take the binary operation between B and E, it will give us B, because E is identity element. Now we can replace this E by A star C. Why? Because C is inverse of A, which means A star C will be E. Binary operation between element and its inverse will give us identity element E. Now from associative property we will interchange this bracket. Now we will take binary operation between B and A first, and then we will take the binary operation with C. So we can write this equation like this. What is B star A? B star A is E, because B is the inverse element of E. Therefore B star A will be E. Now further, as E is identity element, E star C will be C, because the binary operation of any element with identity element will result same element. So B is equals to C. Hence B and C are equal, which means inverse element is unique. Now we will move to uniqueness of identity. Just like previous case, for any particular group there can be only one identity element. Means identity element will be unique. You cannot have two different identity element in a group. Let's prove it. Now we will assume that group has two identity element E and F. Now we can write E as a E star F. Why? Because F is identity element. So if you operate F with any other element, it will give us same element. So E is equals to E star F. Now E is identity element. Therefore E star F can give us F, because operation of identity element with any other element will result same element. So E star F will be F. E and F are equal. Therefore E and F are same element. They are not distinct element. So for a group we cannot have two different identity elements. Today I am stopping here. See you in next lecture. Thank you.